Well, good morning, Pine School parents and colleagues. Thanks so much for joining this virtual coffee this morning. I want to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded, and the meeting link will be, or sorry, the recording of the meeting will be provided in the nightly news this coming Sunday. So if you have anyone who missed it, you can refer them to that link that they see on Sunday. They can view it then. But if you prefer not to be on a meeting that's being recorded, you definitely can watch it later. All right, great. So here we are for our second virtual parent coffee of the school year. Kind of cool. We started this tradition last year at the beginning of the year, just as a way to gather parents for having big groups back on campus. And turns out it's a pretty efficient way for us to have a parent meeting. We can get through some topics pretty efficiently and highlight some things for the parent community. We can record it, people can watch it later. So all in all, as we thought creatively about how to navigate school life amidst COVID, this is a really nice outcome in my opinion. I'd welcome your feedback about whether or not you appreciate this mode of communication. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. As I do, I like to start this virtual coffee time with some highlights about upcoming dates and events. The first thing I'll offer to you is that our fall sports season is off and running. I was proud to be a Pine School swim parent last night at our swim meet at Sailfish Splash. That was really fun to see our young but growing team participate in that meet. We have some home volleyball games tonight, and I would encourage you to check out our athletic schedule to see what's happening as far as home meets, especially if you've got younger children. It's kind of fun to take them out to a game and let them see their older schoolmates participating in sports. It might get them excited about what they would do in the years to come. As I'm sure we all know, we have a Labor Day and Rosh Hashanah holidays coming up Monday and Tuesday, so we're all looking forward to a 4-day weekend. I'm going to put in a special plug here for Richard Gary. He is coming to give a technology and digital citizenship, kind of digital safety message to both our parent community, and then the following day he will speak to our students by division. There is a wonderful flyer that promotes his program. He is being brought to the campus by the Parents Association. Something really cool our Parents Association does for the Pine School is they provide community education that would benefit everyone, parents especially, but also students. We had Mr. Gary here as a guest a couple of years ago, and I will offer to you that I found his talk to be one of the best I've ever heard as far as encouraging young people to think carefully and be smart about the online presence they choose to have. So I would really, really encourage you to come. That's going to start at 6 o'clock in our Pine School, most likely in the gym, but please know that we'll have plenty of seating in there, have chairs set up so that you can come and socially distance yourself if you're comfortable, being there and just want a little bit of space. But we'll welcome all of our parents there. If you've got a friend or a neighbor you want to bring, that would be fine as well. If you can, please email Heidi K., our school counselor, and let her know, just so we can plan accordingly. We are trying to navigate some volleyball practice time and some setup things, so it would just help us to know how big a crowd to expect. I'll also give a little plug here on the 8th. So on that same Wednesday, we had an invitation go out from the development office to invite 7th, 8th, and 9th grade parents to come early, come at 5 o'clock, and then maybe stay for Richard Gary's talk at 6 o'clock. But we'd love to give 7th and 8th, 9th grade parents who are interested a tour of our new building that's under construction. So please reach back out to the development office if you happen to be a parent in those grades and want to come see that. John Boyer and Jessica Sines will be scheduling future opportunities for other parents to see the new building. We're excited to show that space to all of our Pine School families who didn't get a chance to see it last year. Looking ahead a little bit further into September, we will have our honors assembly. That's for 5th through 12th grade. That will happen on the 14th. It's a Tuesday, a dress day. So we'll send out parent notifications if you've got a student who would get an honor roll certificate from last spring. So this would be for students who were here last year. And we look forward to having that assembly. I spoke to our senior speaker just yesterday, and I think we're going to have a great message that day from Kat Villano. A little bit further along, we've got a professional development day coming up in late September. We're changing the timing for sharing comments and early feedback with parents about student performance in the first semester. So we've got that day set aside to help get comments ready, to get ourselves, to collect it a little bit on some curricular issues and other things that come up. And that'll be a long weekend for students. And then we'll have our next virtual coffee on the 8th of October. We won't have it on the 1st. That's the first Friday, but that is also going to be the day that will end homecoming week for our upper school students. So just wanted to highlight a few things that are coming up. You can always check the school calendar on our website. All right, on to some other updates I know that you all are eager to hear. So it's become my habit here weekly to give an update about COVID-19 and what's happening here at the Pine School. We continue to see cases on campus, as I think we would all expect, given how prevalent cases are in our community here, both in Martin and Palm Beach counties. In the past 2 weeks, and I look back over those 2 weeks because it kind of gives me a window of what the activity has been on campus, who might be out either from work or students quarantined, students and still recovering from an illness perhaps, but we've had 1 employee and 7 students across all divisions. Just because I'm identifying a positive case doesn't mean we've had to do any contact tracing. Sometimes I'll get this news and I appreciate getting it even when a student has not been on campus. As some of you probably read in my upper school message, I am now concerned about connections on campus. So last year when we had groups of students quarantine, I never had any of those students come back and say that they were now COVID positive. And, I'm seeing some circumstantial evidence right now that leaves me feeling like there is a possibility that students are spreading COVID to each other on this campus. And so because of the fact that I continue to quarantine upper school students, even a handful of students I've now quarantined for the second time this school year, we're only 3 weeks into the year, I have asked our upper school students to wear masks indoors, especially when they're seated in classrooms. And we're going to do that through the end of homecoming week for sure. And what I'm hoping to do is keep our students in class and on campus. I want homecoming to be a fun week that everyone can enjoy. I know some of you are sitting there upset about that decision. I know others of you are sitting there thinking, well, why don't we just require all of our students to wear masks? I would be so happy to talk to you individually and help, answer those questions for you as best as I can. The school has now performed 6 rounds of contact tracing, and just yesterday had to send news home to our 2nd grade and our 4th grade that we needed them to spend a day at home. Luckily, we're butting up against this long weekend, so those youngsters will all be back in school on Wednesday as long as they're feeling healthy and symptom-free. But, that was very disruptive for those students and their learning and, frustrating for me and for parents. I know, there's nothing happening here that is, convenient or planned for any of us around navigating school amidst COVID-19. As an update from the last time I spoke to you, we continue to ask faculty and staff to identify themselves with Jill Dare if they've been fully vaccinated. That helps us know how we need to follow up with them should they be exposed to COVID-19 on this campus. And I'm happy to tell you that now we have over 75% of our faculty and staff self-reporting being vaccinated. And that continues to be a really, really strong number given what you see percentage-wise in the community. So a little bit of a repeat here: health and wellness, family cooperation. Please just continue to go through that daily health check with your children. I think that this virus is a little sneaky. It starts off very mildly, and I've spoken to families, with older students especially, who kind of shrug it off. They're maybe used to kind of pushing through. They want to get to school and be in class, and then it sneaks up on them. So please just pay special attention to your kids and err on the side of caution, and do not send sick children to school. As you know, our nurse is here, either Nurse Candace Monday through Thursday, or our Friday nurse, Nurse Lori, is here to tend to sick children on campus, and we'll send them home if need be. And depending on the symptoms, they might require a negative COVID test or a doctor's note to return to school. And this is really based on the area positivity rate. With those COVID-like symptoms, how much do we presume those kids might actually have COVID? From last week, that positivity rate was 17% in Martin County. When I look at daily information, I think it's getting down closer to 14% as of late, but I don't get, day by day numbers there, so they are lagging a little bit. And then the other thing I want to remind you all of is, please, families, continue to self-report students' COVID-19 cases to the Pine Schools nurse or to me. And I know that this is, it's asking a lot. It's like putting trust in us just to communicate openly and honestly between families and the school. I know that no one wants to feel responsible for fallout with students having to go home, but really, I think, being in a position to share that information, confidentially, but let families know, what might have happened with their students, who they might have come in contact with on this campus. It's just reassuring for everyone. And I think that the more transparency we can offer, the more trust we're going to be able to have in each other as we navigate the Pine Schools health. And then, of course, I recognize wholly and fully that all of what we're trying to do here, it's about working together. And so I'm here to share with you, what I feel like the school is responsible for, what we do on our side of things, and how we want to continue to partner with families in sharing that joy of education, but also that responsibility of health. So the school is ready to make virtual attendance available due to illness or quarantine. We will honor parental request as soon as we can. It's not always possible that it's instantly up and running, but we do want students, especially older students with more demanding academic schedules, to feel like they can be at home and at least still stay connected and somewhat current. When students return to campus, remember that our teachers are always available after school to help them. So if a student needs to catch back up, happy to have that help happen for them. I also want you to know that I'm so ready to speak with any of you. If you just need a break from your student being on campus, if it's making you anxious to have them here, worried about who they might be coming into contact with, perhaps you've got a special situation in your family, or, someone with significant underlying health conditions, we were, totally open to opening up that remote attendance for a longer stretch of time if need be. I truly want families to feel like it's an option available to them. I do not want our older students to feel like it's an optional option available to them to sleep in and just stay home for a day. That can be really disruptive, but used appropriately, I think virtual attendance is a wonderful resource. Please also know that I will be as forthcoming with information as I can be, again, trying to keep things confidential as I can, and I will communicate promptly about important health matters. So, I am really here trying to be as transparent as I possibly can be. I've been maintaining our COVID dashboard. I sent out a link to that, I believe, last week, and we'll continue to do that daily on school days. I'll update it at the end of my workday. Sometimes that's 4, sometimes that's later, but I do make it a daily habit to update that information. So you can check there. And if there's something else statistics-wise that you'd like me to report to the community, please ask, and I'll see if it's something I feel is possible. I also want you to know that, again, as we work together, the faculty and staff here at Pine have heard my same request to limit close contacts off campus and to tighten our social circle. I feel the pace of COVID on the school campus right now. As I said, we've done 6 rounds of contact tracing. I would have to go back and check to see if what I'm about to say is accurate, but I think that might be as many as we did all of last year. And so, when I think about kind of the fatigue reported from our healthcare community, for instance, in this very, trivial and kind of, not totally important way, I feel that same impact here at school. It's not treating people in a hospital, but certainly trying to keep up with the communication and the reach out to parents. There's a pace to it that is, it's pretty tiring and definitely takes us away from our primary task of education. And so, I'm not here to police people and their behavior off campus, but I guess I would offer that if there's a way for us to slow things down a little bit, it would help the Pine School. I also want to offer to you that I accept that ultimately the operational decisions we're making at Pine, they lie with me. And so I've gotten a few questions about, who makes these decisions and, who's the parent advocate here. And I would say you're your own parent advocate, and I'm happy to speak with any of you at any time. I communicate very regularly with our board of trustees, but offer to you that there is a separation there in terms of where that operational decision making lies. I'm proud to say that I have the support of our board of trustees, and again, feel like our communication is open and transparent. But I'm truly approaching this in a day-by-day way and optimizing as I see fit for the health of the Pine School community. I think every day about what we're doing and in every way about the health of our students and our employees. I also want you to know that, when I think about us working together, I sincerely believe that our diversity of thought makes us better as a community. It makes us a better community, it makes us a better place for learning. I've been so proud to actually see a few of the responses that my email asking students to wear masks indoors until homecoming, a few responses it elicited from students, again, with wide-ranging thoughts about what we ought to be doing and how we ought to be doing it. But being able to talk about that as a community and somehow come up with, compromise and a path forward, I think that it's going to allow us to navigate everything on our plates in a much more, emotionally sound way, I guess I would offer. And so I'll close out this part of our talk by saying, please send your good ideas my way. I think that I don't imagine for a second I've got this all figured out, that I know exactly what to do. I look at data a lot. I, again, prioritize the health and safety of students and employees on campus, right? And also keeping students here in person for learning. But, if there's a different tactic that you think I'm not considering, or, another school or school district you're aware of that seems to be navigating this in a better way, I'm always happy to hear it. There are times where I feel like the decision tree we use, the path that we offer for families, it doesn't always incentivize people to make the choices that might be best for community health. And so, that's worth considering for sure. And, I also do respect individual choice. I do. And I know that some of you are really frustrated not to have that autonomy as part of the Pine School community at this moment. Here's me saying that I hope to get it back to everyone as soon as I possibly can. So, let's see. I think that closes out my health and wellness part of our talk and gets us on to the main event. So the main event today is hearing from our guest, Beth Lettengarver. Throughout the year, I'll have different members of the Pine School community come and join me so that the parents can meet them and just learn a little bit more about their roles and responsibilities here at Pine. So I'm going to escape here and stop presenting my screen so that Ms. Lettengarver can get her screen back up. And while she prepares herself to do that, I just want to say a little bit more about Mrs. Lettengarver, or Beth, whom all of you have likely had a chance to get to know well through the admission process at the Pine School. Beth has finished 20 years of service to the Pine School. She's one of our employees with the longest tenure. She started her work back in 2001 on the Stewart campus as a middle school teacher. And if anyone wants to chat with her in Spanish, you can see how much of that early teaching experience she remembers. Beth has just been a wonderful, wonderful colleague to me. She's made me feel so welcome at the Pine School. She's an infinite source of wisdom as far as the culture and community here. And she just has a wonderful connection with adults and students alike. If you come after school, you will see her coaching our cross-country team. She's been a coach here for 20 years as well. And Beth is also a proud Pine School parent. She and her husband, Michael, had their son, AJ, graduate from the Pine School in the class of 15. So again, Beth, thanks for being our guest with us at this virtual coffee. And I'm going to let you share a little information about admissions and enrollment with our parent community this morning.
So thank you, everybody. Hopefully you all know me. If I've done my job correctly, you all should know me. I am so proud to welcome everybody to the Pine School when they come in and to visit the school and to share our story. I always tell the teachers, they sometimes get, they sit in their classrooms or their offices or whatever it is, and they don't get to experience the whole school. And I have that opportunity every day to walk around and see the great things that are going on. So, kudos to our teachers for continuing on, especially during these times. Thanks, Adam, for that shout out. So anyway, first off, I would love to thank Carol D. Ankrum. Many of you, most of you, all of you, hopefully know Carol D. very well. She is my admission right hand, and I could not have done it, especially this year, without her. We decided to make her full time this year, and she took that task on, and I could not be more grateful. Honestly, with the amount of inquiries that we've gotten and people interested in the Pine School now, it just couldn't have been done if I didn't have Carol D. by my side. So thank you very much, Carol D. And also to Mary Franks, who you all know and love, who has been here longer than me. She is celebrating her 27th year here and is still unbelievably pleasant on the phone. And I don't know how she does it, but she's just amazing. And the three of us make up a pretty dynamic team, and we're super excited to welcome everybody to the Pine School and be the entry point for everybody to see every day. I'd also like to thank Selena Budd, who is our senior ambassador prefect leader. She is amazing. If those of you who have been able to get to know her, she came here in 9th grade, and she has been just a wonderful advocate for the school. And she leads a team of ambassadors, student ambassadors. So thank you to all of the student ambassadors that have helped out. And also, finally, the Parent Admission Committee. We call them the PAC. There's a group of awesome, mostly women, moms that come in and help out in the admission office, and also welcome our families, especially in the summertime. They're busy when everybody is gearing up and getting excited for the new school year. So you can go to the next slide. So this season has been a record season. It has we've had a record number of inquiries, we've had a record number of applicants, and we've had a record number of new students. It has been unbelievable and so exciting. It's fun to see the tipping point of the Pine School and to know that people are finally really discovering us, and realizing that we're a tremendous option in this community. We have the largest number of new students and the highest number of students in total on the Hobe Sound campus ever. We welcomed 127 new students this year. We have 385 total enrollment. So it's very exciting. It's a very exciting time in a totally different way that I've had to operate, but really a wonderful way to have to go about my business. So some of the changes that we've done this year, we added sections, knowing in the springtime when we were watching all of this sort of flurry of applications, I would periodically go into Benny's office and say, oh my gosh, I've got way more kids than I thought coming into 5th grade or 7th grade or 8th grade or whatever it might be. Can we add another section? Can we hire another teacher? Can we shift schedules around and make it work? And thankfully to the division leaders and to Benny's leadership and Kelly Hilton Green, we were able to add 4 different grades. So we've added in 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th. 7th grade being our largest class. We have 50 students in the 7th grade, which is super exciting as we launch them off in a couple of years into the high school. Some of our grades are closed with wait pools. Every once in a while I get a phone call, and it's very hard. One of the hardest things I have to do is to tell somebody, especially if they've left, and realize that maybe the grass isn't so green. And then they come back and they realize that class is full now and we can't accommodate them anymore. But this coming school year, for the 2022-23 school year, the applications are already coming in, and there are limited spots in some of those grades. So we've been talking with Kelly Carlson and Benny about, maybe making earlier commitments. Normally we ask you to commit to us by March 1st, but we may need to up that because we do have people that are anxious to come in and make decisions. So keep an eye out for that. That may be something that's coming down. So who are our new students? Who are they? 15 of them, excitingly enough, are siblings. So they came here, maybe their sibling came here first and then decided, you know what, this is a pretty cool place. Maybe my younger son or daughter would like to come, or my older son or daughter would like to come. We've got 4 sets of twins, which is an admission director's dream. I love having 2 kids come in. So 3 of them are in 1 grade, which is pretty exciting. 30 of them moved here from different areas. So they either moved here from within the state, across the state, or across the state, or across the country, or even abroad. We have families that moved here from England. We have several New York families, California, Maryland, so people that came here that are acclimating themselves not only to our school, but to the area. So then that's a number that's gone up. It's usually about maybe 18% of our new enrollment are people who move here, and this is more about 25 to 30% that are here. So we have 1 student who is a returning knight, was with us when she was 3 and 4, and then came back later on in middle school. So we're excited to have her back. And then you may have noticed on the front field as you come in for your morning drop-off in Carline that there are some soccer players out there that are dutifully doing their work out on the front field, and then you might see them again later in the afternoon. Well, those are members of the FC Florida Soccer Academy. It's a new Pine affiliation. We were working with them in the springtime and hoping to make an alliance with the academy, and it's worked out beautifully. So they range in age from 6th grade to 12th grade, and they come here to be student athletes, and they were seeking our school so that they could have a better academic environment, but still be able to work out as an academy and play as an academy. So we're very excited about them and how that program is actually going to be growing internationally as well as domestically. So stay tuned to see more soccer players. And a big question everybody says is, are they going to play for us? And the answer is yes. We hope that they will. Many of them are coming from far away. Some of them are driving from Wellington, from Boca, to come to our school. So we should all be proud that they've chosen our school as the academic environment that they chose. But yes, hopefully we will have a stellar soccer team. So be sure to come out and watch a couple of soccer games this season. And then for me personally, kind of a fun admit this year was Candace Alcorta was my predecessor. Candace Alcorta was the very first admission director here at the Pine School. And then she was followed up by Judy Chamberlain, who still lives in the area and volunteers periodically, and then me. But Candace Alcorta's granddaughter is here in our freshman class. So that was a really fun admission process because, of course, Candace came to be a part of that. And that's really, really exciting for me. So why? People ask why the surge of interest? I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but there is an influx of young families moving to South Florida. People during COVID have realized that they could work anywhere, live anywhere, and why not live down here in Paradise? And many of them are coming from really wonderful either school districts or private independent schools in different areas across the country. And when they come down here and they see, gosh, the beach, I've got this great house, I love it, but I really have to find the right school. And it's so fun, as hopefully some of you are on this call, we're part of that. But for them to have been here and then discover that, wow, a great independent school, and I get to live in a beautiful area. So we're very excited to welcome those families. I think the attraction of our large or outdoor campus, especially during this time, to be able to utilize our outdoor facilities. It's a safe environment. That's usually one of the #1 reasons why people choose an independent school. The quality faculty, the opportunities in arts and athletics from kindergarten through 12th grade, our relationship-based education. Our students are known here and our faculty take care of them. So I love hearing from new families that come back and say, I cannot believe how much this teacher cares about my child, or the experiences that they're already getting in these first couple of weeks. Leadership opportunities. You come to a small school, you've got 160, 150 students in the high school. You're bound to be able to find a leadership role and be able to utilize that to challenge yourself beyond in college. And then speaking of college, our impressive college profile. We're so lucky and fortunate to have Jana Pacifico with us, and to have Kathleen who's going to be taking over her role, to really be able to have an amazing college profile from across the country and across the globe, and really finding the right fit. It's about fit, not necessarily about anything else. But we're really fortunate to have that program that's handheld. And an awareness and exposure. I think people are just now becoming more aware of us. Our reputation is growing. Palm Beach County especially. I'll show you the next slide in a second. But in Palm Beach County, people always think, that they don't go past Jonathan Dickinson State Park. And all of a sudden, once they do, they realize, hey, it's not really that far. And what a nice drive. And my daughter or son is going to be driving soon. And wouldn't I much rather send them up past a scenic state park than get them on I-95. So I think our reputation is growing. Everybody that comes in here will always say that they hear great things about what we're doing here, and the students that we are educating here. And most recently, in the last year, we started a relationship with a company called Drive. It's a social media company that is helping us. So I don't know if any of you have kind of realized that we have a little bit of a social media presence. You might have noticed some ad campaigns going out there, but obviously that's the way to reach a lot of younger families, and that's been really helpful to get people to begin to look at us. So this is what, at this time of year, this is what I busy myself with, besides getting ready for the 22-23 season, is to begin to analyze and look at past years. Where are the trends, and what are things that are interesting to note? And we do zip codes, and we do boy-girl ratios and all of that to see, the changes over the years. But you can see our retention numbers are pretty good this year. Florida is a transient state. People come and go, unfortunately for us. So 86% is good for us right now. Those averages over the last 5 years, about 83% is the average there. So we want those numbers higher. Of course, we always want, we love 90% and above, but because of the reality of where we live, and that we're a K-12 school, and it's not always right for everybody as they move along. But those are pretty good numbers for us. We're pretty excited about that. Obviously, our new student number there is tremendous. 80, 90, 70, those were always our numbers, and those were good. It's always good to bring in those kind of numbers, but to actually enroll 125 new students this year has been a banner year. And you can see the enrollment. We've always hovered around 350, 340, 330, and to be at 383 on opening day was pretty exciting. And then you can see the trends between Martin and Palm Beach County. People are always interested to see where people come from. I have a cool little map that I keep on my coffee table here to show people of where they live. And you can see the numbers are kind of even in Martin County, going down a little bit, but we're always happy to, we live in Martin County. We are a Stewart-based school, so we love it when we have Martin County students here. But it's interesting to note how many more Palm Beach County families are deciding to come this way and come to school. We've gone from 37% to 45% in the last 5 years, which is a pretty big leap. So, and the last thing that I would like to talk about, I'm going to bring my trusty sidekick in here in a second. Here she comes. So one of the most fun things we get to do each year is that we give out Tervis Tumblers. So for those of you who are new to the school who may not be aware, if you recommend a student and that student actually is in a seat here at school, we would love to gift you a personalized Tervis tumbler. So you will see Carol D and I out in the car line this afternoon. So if you see your name there, the Longmaids, the Swans, Kayla Berger, the Cornea family, Janet Pacifico, Singletons, Kuykendalls, Makins, Baldwins, Sullivans, Heidi K, the Dare family, the Idy family, the Pearl family, the Schroeder family, the Di Giovanni family, Kashila Wood family, the LaCourts, Ashley Jenkins, a former teacher, which is always nice. The Oosthuizens, who moved away, but they will receive theirs in the mail. Mrs. Ubel is the head of school, or the assistant head of school at All Saints. Nancy Harvey from the Harvey Academy. And of course, Mrs. Caffrey. So she actually brought in a family that she befriended when she very, very first moved here in the school. And sorry, front office dilemmas. So she actually befriended a family, and they are finally here at school. So we're super excited to welcome the Vians, thanks to Vinny. And if your name is not on there and you feel like you recommended somebody, I love giving these away. So please feel free to let me know if we've missed you. We just ask people when they apply if they can tell us who recommended them. So sometimes that's just that just gets missed. And then on the last slide here, I just wanted to tell you, how you can help. We do the social media campaigns. We sometimes put ads in Jupiter Magazine or Palm Beach Illustrated or the Stewart Magazine, or we we'll sponsor an event or something to get our word out. But honestly, the number one form of marketing for us that is the most useful is word of mouth. And that involves all of you. That is you wearing your Pine School swag. That's you out on the JTAA lacrosse field. That's you in the gymnastics gym or studios, dance studios, and telling people where your kids go, and you should really call Beth and find out more about it, how that can work for your family. So please, please, please continue to do that. Like us and share us on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Robert Ankrum does a really good job of getting photos out there and promoting our school. So please, please share that news with them. You get a nightly news every Sunday evening. If somebody is interested in our school, go ahead and forward that to somebody and say, this is what our school does, and this is how you can get involved. If you're interested in being a part of the Parent Admission Committee, please reach out. If you're not part of it yet and you'd like to be, we would love to have you, and get out there and earn your Tervis tumbler, because I would absolutely love to give them to everybody here. So thank you very much. And I'm here as always. If you have any questions, please stop by my office, give me a call. If you have suggestions, those of you who are coming from other schools might have done different unique things in your schools, and I would love to hear them. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Beth, thank you so much for all that information. That was a great presentation about all the activity in your office. It certainly has been a banner year, and a lot of that is due to the hard work from you, Carol D. and Mary Franks. You're an awesome team up there in our front office and admissions office. So just really, really grateful. And we'll often get that question, well, how big does the Pine School want to get? What's the plan here? What I would offer to you is that we will hold on to that close-knit community feel. It is part of what makes us the Pine School. So while we do aspire to be a little bit bigger, just know that we're going to grow in a thoughtful way, looking at space, looking at what makes sense staffing-wise, and all in all, holding on to that close-knit learning environment that we so clearly identify in our mission. It is going to help us tremendously to have our new arts and athletics building online, and I am crossing my fingers that that is a reality by the fall of 2022. So all of those things come together to help us figure out what our optimal enrollment will be here at the Pine School. I'm looking at the clock. It's 9:40. We have had a great morning together. I'm going to go ahead and close our presentation down, but I remind each and every one of you that I am available to you if you've got questions, concerns, thoughts, things you'd like to share. I really do want to make myself accessible to all of our parents here at the Pine School. I wish you a very happy and safe long weekend as we head into Labor Day and Rosh Hashanah. Be well, take care, and I'll see you on campus. Go Knights.